Hello everyone, my name is Apple Guy, and welcome to the second video of Disneycember 2020. In today's video, we're going to be discussing Downtown Disney. Now, at the end of my previous video, I mentioned how I did not include any restaurants from Downtown Disney in my top 10 list because I didn't feel any of them were sufficient to make the list. And that actually got me thinking, what is Downtown Disney's purpose? And in today's video, we're going to be moving from the left side to the right side of Downtown Disney, and we're just going to be discussing what each of the buildings are, what the different shops have for them, and if I think they're even worthwhile to have them in there. There was a big plan going around to demolish part of Downtown Disney and put a brand new hotel. I do believe they're still going to do that, so we may lose some of these things in the near future. I just figured it'd be a great time for me to get my 2 cents out there on what I think could be improved about Downtown Disney. So let's jump right into it. Beginning closest to the Disneyland Hotel, we have what was formerly known as the ESPN Zone. Now it is an empty warehouse. I believe they sometimes use it for pop-up shops of different kinds, but it's basically an empty building now. Now, when it was the ESPN Zone, for the first couple of years, my family would go to Disneyland. We would spend our last day, instead of in the park, we wouldn't have a ticket then because we would be flying home. So we would spend the day playing in the ESPN Zone, and it was cool. I think I enjoyed it, but I might have just enjoyed it because I was a kid. At the end of the day, if you're in Disneyland, your goal is to be in Disneyland. And having access to Downtown Disney for free is great, but does anyone really want to go to the ESPN Zone? I think removing it was a pretty good idea. I believe they could have some sort of a small-scale arcade going on, but it would just have to be done in sort of a gastropub way, to where there's like a place for maybe kids to play arcade games, and maybe the parents can like eat or drink or something, because there's not really much to do if you have only one or the other. See, the big deal, and what I'm going to be explaining a lot throughout this entire video, is that Downtown Disney has to be more appealing so that anyone will want to do it, right? Because if you're a family with children, you're not going to really want to spend too much time at a bar. And if you're in Downtown Disney with friends as a young adult or something, you're probably not going to want to spend too much time at a random arcade. So there needs to be a balance established, because ultimately the goal is not to spend a lot of time in Downtown Disney. But in order for the place to be successful, you need people to spend time there. So it's a bit of a catch-22. Staying in the same area, we have the Earl of Sandwich, which I've heard is a great place to go and buy your meals outside of the park, and you can bring them in or you can eat them there. I've never personally eaten at Earl of Sandwich, but I've heard it's good. There was also a movie theater near that area. I completely forget what brand it was, but I believe it's gone now, which is good because no one has time to watch a full movie. You know, it's just weird for me to think that you would have a full movie theater. Who's going to waste 2 hours of their Disneyland day to watch a movie? Doesn't make too much sense. Next, we have Sugarboo & Co., which describes himself as apparel and accessories, gifts and housewares, art and collectibles, which is a theme we'll see a couple of times throughout Downtown Disney. I've never personally been inside of it, and I could not tell you what it looks like from the outside. I guess you'll probably be seeing some pictures of it when I edit them in. Not really much to say about Sugarboo & Co. The last thing in this little pavilion is the Asian Street Eats, which is actually a really, really good place. It was originally a truck, but I think they have a full-on little shack now. And it stands in what was formerly known as the Rainforest Cafe. It's just a place you can get some dumplings of some kind. They're pretty good, and what I like about it most is it's grab and go. You don't have to wait for them to make your meal. You basically walk up, you say, I'd like to eat this. Maybe it'll take them 5 minutes, and then you're on the move. And I think this is exactly what Downtown Disney needs, is short, quick things that you can just grab and go on your way in or on your way back. In the next area, we have Starbucks, which I can't really complain about. It's a Starbucks, it's good to have one. Don't think we need 2 of them, but, you know, sure, a Starbucks is fine. There's also the monorail station, which is great. Leave that there, that works. Disney's Pin Traders, I think that's actually pretty good. It's a great place if maybe you're stopping in on a business trip and you want to bring back something for a family member. You want to bring them a quick, pop in, grab a Disneyland pin, and then you can head out. That's great. I think that's pretty good. Across the way is the Lego store, which feels a little bit weird, and I'm someone who actually does enjoy playing with Legos, but I think having a Lego store doesn't make too much sense, because if this Downtown Disney area is a mall, then sure, it makes sense. Maybe you'll pop in and you'll bring it home for your family. But it's not a mall, because no one comes to Disneyland just for Downtown Disney. And if you had that Lego store there, Are you gonna build the Lego set in Disneyland or at the hotel? I mean, I guess maybe after your day is done, you want something for your kid to do. I guess it can get a pass. It has some cool decorations and stuff, but definitely worth considering maybe changing it. We have some more carts now. We have Blue Ribbon Corn Dogs, California Churro Company, and Sunglass Icon. They're fine. They're little carts. They don't take up too much space. I don't know how profitable they are, but I mean, if they're there, then they're there for a reason. The next little block we're in is the dining block, or so I like to call it. Taqueria at Tortilla Joe's, Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen, as well as the other places around, including Crazy Shake by Black Tap, Ballast Point. There's also Wetzel's Pretzels. The Catal restaurant is there, as well as the Uva Bar. There's a big combination of little grab-and-goes and also sit-down restaurants. Not really sure how I feel about these, in all honesty. I've never eaten at Tortilla Joe's. I don't enjoy Jazz Kitchen, but that's for a separate reason. Shout out to the people who know that. I had a Crazy Shake by Black Tap in Las Vegas. It was good. I think it fits. It's kind of fun, little wacky thing to have in Disneyland. It's definitely got the appeal. I've never eaten any of the actual meals at Black Tap, so I can't rate the other side of that. I know that having that restaurant there is much better than a Build-A-Bear workshop and Ride Makers. I actually built my own RC car at Ride Makers back when that was there, but once again, it was one of those things that just doesn't make sense. You know, what do you do now that you have an RC car? You drive it around Disneyland? No. You drive it around the hotel room? I guess. It was just weird, and I'm actually glad that they switched those out. As far as the Catal restaurant goes, I've eaten there before. It's pretty good. I don't really have anything to say about it specifically. I think it should stay. I think that the restaurants of downtown Disney have a place. I think that if you're going to do a restaurant in downtown Disney, it should be vastly, vastly different than the food you would get in Disneyland. And I think that's what places like Catal and Black Tap do very well, is they give you food that is entirely different than what you would get at Disneyland. I can't say the same for Tortilla Joe's and Jazz Kitchen simply because I either haven't tried them or I know they don't stand up. And that's sort of where you need to come from. Because yes, downtown Disney is a place for everyone, but what you're really trying to capture is nightlife, something that doesn't exist in Disneyland. And I think places like Splitsville does a really good job at that. It offers some light entertainment in the form of bowling and some food that you can't get in the Disneyland park. I feel like that is the perfect example of what you need. Moving back over to the retail side, we have Disney Home, which is a place where you can buy home goods, you know, things for your kitchen or some artwork, as well as the Wonderground Gallery, which once again is artwork. There's the Disney Dress Shop, which is just a place to buy clothes for, I believe, mostly children. There's also a Sephora, which don't know why there's a Sephora. Really doesn't make sense to me. That's of course a makeup shop. There's a Pandora Jewelry. You gonna buy a ring in Disneyland? I mean, I guess so. The one thing that Pandora has for them is that they are offering exclusive Mickey and Minnie themed pieces, so maybe. There's also California Soul and Curl Surf, as well as Sunglass Icon, again, not as a cart this time, but as just a place. And our second Starbucks. California Soul, maybe you need to buy some new shoes quickly. Sure, I'll let it slide. Curl Surf, sure. I don't know, it doesn't really make sense to me, but I mean, I have never really walked in and noticed what they sell. I think it's apparel. That's once again kind of going on the line of, you know, downtown Disney isn't a mall. Don't sell mall things. And then Sunglass Icon I can actually support. I think sunglasses is something people might break or lose, and it's something a lot of people can't live without. But a second Starbucks is really hard to make me want to agree to. We have skipped over a couple of places. There was Sprinkles Cupcakes, as well as Marceline's Confectionery, and Jamba Juice, which I think is just called Jamba now. They're fine. I like them. I think Cupcakes is cool. Seeing people make things at the confectionery is cool for me, and Jamba is something quick you can grab on your way in, so I support that. Now there's also something I forgot to mention, which was the Void. And the Void is like an AR/VR experience. There's one theme to Star Wars, I think there's one theme to a Marvel something or other as well. So that is sort of what I'm thinking of as far as when it comes to an arcade experience, sort of that like mix between a Disney theme attraction and just like a normal arcade you'd find at like a mall. I think that's a great way to do it, and I would like to see more of stuff from the Void. I've never done it myself, but I've actually been super interested in wanting to try it recently. So maybe I'll get around to doing it eventually, but the Void definitely gets a pass for me. There's not too much left in our last little section of downtown Disney. There's some more stands. I see Kayla's Cake. another California churro company, a Wetzel's Pretzels cart, which is probably independent from the other Wetzel's Pretzels that they have, and a Diggity Dogs, as well as 2 actual places for food, La Brea Cafe and La Brea Express. La Brea is fine. That's also another one of those quick grab-and-go things. They do have some seating, but, you know, it's fine. I think that's really, if you're going to be serving breakfast food in downtown Disney, that's the way to do it, is grab and go, because people want to get into the parks as quick as possible. And finally, the last thing in downtown Disney, before you get to the Esplanade, the World of Disney store, which honestly is the entirety of downtown Disney. I think the amount of times I've walked into every other store combined is less than the amount of times I've walked into the World of Disney, because that is the place. If there's new things, it's in the World of Disney. There is something going on that you want to try and buy, it's in the World of Disney. If a new movie has come out, there's a display for it outside, and there's stuff to buy inside. That is the place. That is what World of Disney is the #1 spot to buy things. So, if you were someone who was coming down for the day on a business trip, visit some family maybe, and you wanted to bring something back to your loved ones, that's where you go. None of the other places can even compete. And ultimately, that is the problem with downtown Disney, is there's not enough to do. It's not a mall, but it tries to be. It's not a place with good nightlife, because it also has to be inclusive to children. You know, I'm looking back and I realized I forgot to mention the Napolini Pizzeria, which is a great place to get pizza. You know, I don't want that to go away, but how does that fit into the entire equation of how this place works out? I guess to conclude, I can just say that I am in no way qualified to make these judgments on this place. But I know what they're trying to do, and I don't know if this is the way to do it. I think they have a bunch of ideas that work great independently, but when put together, don't make a ton of sense. This is very evident from the places that have been remodeled and repurposed versus the places that haven't. If you look at the area from Splitsville to Wetzel's Pretzels, that area has almost entirely been replaced with brand new things, and they work really, really well. And everything else just doesn't seem to be fit to that standard. So to reiterate, in my eyes, and you're free to disagree in the comments section, if downtown Disney is going to work, it needs to offer new experiences that can't be seen in the Disneyland Park. Things like The Void, food experiences like Black Tap, and Ballast Point. That's what I think needs to happen. But I'm just one guy sharing his opinion on the internet. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please hit like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the series if you think they would enjoy it. It means a lot to me when you share my videos around. Feel free to leave a comment in the comments section to point out anything you might agree or disagree with, and I would love to have a discussion with you guys. But that's going to be all for now, so I'll catch you guys back here next time. Until then, as always, take care.